We are down here at Toledo Bend for the first Central Bassmaster Open of the year, and it's been a little stingy. Been here for about 3-4 days, and I've only located like one area that has fish, but it's still, you know, I'm still trying to figure this place out. It's a huge place, and there's a lot to it. That there's deep fish, shallow fish, everything in between. There's a lot of timber. You got to be careful where you're running. It's a super sketchy lake to run. You got to stay inside of the buoys and all that. So it's definitely a new experience for me. I've never actually fished something this big for largemouth, but it's unique, and I love challenges, and I love to try to figure these fish out. Me and my buddy John have been camping at the South Toledo Bend State Park, and I've been sleeping out of the back of my truck, and he's been sleeping in the tent. We got heaters, and that is that. So kind of playing it cheap and trying to save a penny here and there, but overall it's been a huge learning curve coming down here and trying to figure these Texas/Louisiana fish out. But overall, I'm still excited to have at least a couple more days to try putting something together and see what we can't do. So stay tuned, guys, and I hope you enjoy. Setup for the week: we got the truck, we got the boat, John's sleeping in the tent. Right now he's cooking. Got the whole little setup going on here. But here's where I've been sleeping. We've been sleeping in the truck. Got my little bed right there. And me and my dad built this box. And I also use it for storage. I use this right here for line. You can just slip some line on there. I have a little bracket that I screw in, and I can spool up some line right there. I have a box that pulls out there with some stuff in there. I have a little light right here, click on and off. Got another box right here, put some more tackle in and other miscellaneous stuff that I need. And then I also have this box here. It's got claws and whatever to wipe the boat down. Got some Bass Boat Saver right there. Then we got another box right there for miscellaneous stuff like fuel treatment and whatnot, and then I have another little outlet right there that we mounted up there that plugs in. I just feed an extension cord through this window right here, and that works out pretty nice, so I can charge my phone and plug in the heater at night and do whatever else. And so that works out really nice. I like that. And then we got the boat charged up, ready to go. John's been chilling in the tent. That's where he's been staying. Got the fire going. So yeah, but that's our little setup, and that's what we've been doing for the week. So there you have it. All right, so practice really didn't go that good for me. I literally only found 1 to 2 spots that had some fish on it. I found one area that I started on in a tournament that it was basically a 8 to 10 foot. It was a line of hydrilla, 8 to 10 foot, and I roll up there like 3rd day of practice, catch 2 on a rattle trap real quick, and then I lose the big one. And I had like 1 more push for my rattle trap, and that was it. So, and that was all in the span of like 20 minutes. So I called it good, left there, and the deal in practice was that it was really tough for me to get a handle on what was really happening on the lake, just because of the conditions were changing literally every day. And you'd have one day where it's literally blowing straight down the lake out of the north, 20 to 25 with 30-mile-an-hour gusts. And you know, some of the stuff that you wanted to look at on the main lake is just blown out and completely toast. So, and then stuff when I'd want to go north was like one of the days I wanted to go north and fish some stuff kind of closer to the main lake. It was like, it was blowing 30, or no, it wasn't blowing, it was like 20, it was hawking out of the south, and all that was blown out. So every day was really different, and you try to prepare for the conditions best you can, and sometimes the weather statements on your phone are right, sometimes they're dead wrong, and for this one a lot of them were wrong, because I tried preparing my practice based on the weather, based on the winds, because this is a really big lake, you know, and the winds get going on this place and they can get nasty. So that's why you really got to try planning your practice according to what the wind is doing and all that, because you can't just be at the north end of the lake and decide, okay, I'm going to go ahead and run an hour south if it's blowing 20 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour, because it's just not going to happen. You're going to beat your boat up and beat yourself up. So other than that, I only found one or two other kind of like shallow spots when it did warm up, because I figured maybe if the weather wasn't right and it warmed up a little bit, because the water temps where I found in practice was like, the warmest I was able to find was like 57, and that was a little still kind of earlier in practice, because later in like beginning of practice when I got there, it was 53 to 55, and you know, they were on a trap pretty decent, and then it warmed up a little bit more to like that 56 to 57 zone, and I went shallow with a spinner bait, and had one area where I got like 4 bites in like a half hour, and I was gonna call it good if it stayed clean in there. Well, the day before the tournament, we got a lot of rain. Actually 2 days. For 2 straight days before the tournament, it was just raining, cold rain. You drive over a bridge, and that's over a creek, and it'd be just high, muddy, blown out, and I figured that's what happened in my areas that I found shallow fish at, back in some bushes and buckbrush and whatever. So I kind of wrote that off, because in the springtime, high, muddy, cold water is not good. Now, kind of dirty, warm water can be really good, but this was a really cold rain that we had. Dropped the water temps considerably, and so I just wrote that off. So I didn't get much footage of me actually catching fish in practice at all. Neither did I really in the tournament. So I got a few shots of me fishing and practicing, but really it was just a super tough practice, and I just wasn't really able to get much on camera. So we're gonna start off here with day 1 blast off, and I'll show a little bit of fishing, and then I'll talk a little bit about how my day 1 went.
Last bit of flight number 4, so we move on to flight number 5. Your check-in time is 3:45. Remember to have your live bills open and running, your navigation lights in and on, your PFDs, forward fasten kill switch hooked up as you come through takeoff each and every day. Boat 86, Thomas Reddington. Where's Tom? Straight ahead, Tom, behind you right here. Thank you, I got you. Will Chapman in 87. Let Tom and you'll be just right. Boat 88, Ish Monroe. Got you, Ish. Follow that bass cat right in front of you. Thank you, sir. Cody Bertrand in 92, straight ahead. Follow Tommy Martin. Brent Bresnick in boat 93. You're behind a red nitro. One more call for boat 95, Alex Heinz.
92?
I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see 95. 95 is out of line. 96, Nick Hatfield. Straight ahead, jump behind the gas station track.
Check your time. 3:45. 3:45.
With the yellow stripe.
Over close. Hey, come over close.
2. Oh. Sorry about that.
He's going to have you in 11th place right now. Thanks to Destiny. Safe travels, my friend.
Hold it right there. Ready?
That's a big girth on that fish.
Ready?
A little different than any other fish.
Ready? Close her up. And let's go.
Cody Bertrand. Now you want to talk about hair? Man, he's got nothing on you. He's all bragging about his hair, man. You got it going on.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's, you know, they say the longer your hair is, the bigger the fish you catch, the longer your hair. So
You better keep. Yeah, he wants to get a quick photo, sir. We can bring those back up. You better keep growing your hair then, Cody. 12 pounds and 5 ounces. 12.5. No, a good start. That's 12.5 more than I caught today. I'll give you that much. All right, fine young angler, another angler that made the swap from the co-angler side. Fine young anglers, Fishing Pro Division. Congratulations, well done.
what's happening, guys? So, day 2 of the tournament here at Toledo Bend, Central Open number 1 of the Bassmaster Opens has been canceled. Day 2 canceled due to storms. It was a little sketchy this morning, a lot of lightning, a lot of claps of thunder, heavy rain, sketchy conditions, so they decided to cancel the day. And so now me and my travel buddy John Zerski,
What's up? What's up?
we are just hanging out back at the camp. We got a campsite slip down here at the South Toledo Bend State Park campground, and that's where we've been staying for about 7-8 days. So we're just kind of hanging out. Day 1 went pretty good. It went better than, I found one good spot in practice, and I literally only had one spot to go to, and I kind of just milked it all day on day 1, and it turned out all right. I'm sitting 40th out of 216 people, I believe, and it was slow though. The morning started out pretty slow for me. It was overcast, kind of like dreary conditions, and we had a little bit of a north wind, so it was tough in the morning. I caught like a 2.5 at like 9:30, and then kind of went through another little lull for about an hour and a half, and then I caught another about 2 1/4 on a chatterbait. My first bite came on a 1/4 ounce rigged gambler burner worm in June bug, and then later in the day I went through another like 4-hour lull, 3-hour lull, and right at the end of the day the sun popped out right at around 1 o'clock. The wind kind of changed direction, started blowing in on my spot right, and had the bait pushed up there, so I switched to a Mega Bass jerkbait 110 in Pro Blue, and I caught a 2 3/4, motored up, made another pass, and I caught a 4.5 right in the last like 20 minutes of my fishing time, because I was doing at 3:45 and it was pushing 3 o'clock, and I had like a 25-minute ride back to the launch. So it all worked out. I ended up with 12 pounds 5 ounces for day 1. I think John, how much did you have?
3 pounds.
3 pounds. He's a co-angler, so he got 3 pounds, and we're hoping to get back out there today, hopefully move up the leaderboard a little bit, but we got cut short. So it's down to now a 2-day tournament. If they send us out tomorrow, it's looking like tomorrow morning is going to be pretty stormy too, so I'm not sure if we're even going to go tomorrow. I hope we do, because I'd really like to move up a little bit. The top 40 get paid, so I'm in 40th, so if it gets canceled by something crazy tomorrow, I'll probably get paid and maybe like break even for the trip. But other than that, that's about it. We got the boat, got the cover on the boat, just hanging out at the campsite. We got the tent set up. We're just kind of hanging out. John's doing some tackle, getting ready for tomorrow, and just hanging out, and that's about it. So we'll see what happens, guys, but stay tuned. Okay, so I'm the kind of guy where once I get going in a tournament, I just kind of set the GoPro up and go, and if it cuts out, it cuts out. I just don't have the time to sit down, fiddle with it, and then set it back up and all that. So I did not capture literally hardly anything from day 2. a tough day on me, and I had, being in 40th after day one, I was really, I was just all business. I wanted to fish and make sure I did all I could to try to move up the leaderboard, and it just didn't pan out for me. I caught one 4.5 pound or 4 1/4 pounder at like 11:30, and that was it. I mean, I was marking them. They were, there was big fish there, and they just weren't biting for me. I tried a lot of different stuff, changing up, and it was such a long line of grass or hydrilla that I really thought that if I made enough passes up and down it, I could at least get the 9 pounds that I needed to at least walk away with a check and really good points. So that was it. I mean, I caught that one, and it put me at a 2-day total of, I think, 16 pounds 9 ounces, and that put me in 85th place. But I was literally like 6 pounds from getting a really good check and getting out of here with some good points. So overall, it was a big time learning curve on day 2, just because like these fish on these big lakes like this, they just change so quick with the conditions. Day two was a lot different than day 1 as far as conditions go. The beginning of the day was, low skies, overcast, kind of misty, and then we had a crazy fog come in that got worse as the day went on. So real foggy, real low skies. I think it just kind of spread them out a little bit. For whatever reason, they lifted up and were suspended and roaming. So that makes it pretty tough to catch them. And but day 1, I caught them like at 1 o'clock. The sun popped out and the wind got going, and every pass I made down the grass, I was catching, like it was just boom, boom, boom. I was catching them on a jerk bait, and it sucks that I had to be in at 3:45, because the deal in the springtime is later in the day the bite gets better as the day goes on. And after I weighed in, I was like, I caught 4 keepers, but 2 of my 4 came in the last like hour of my fishing time, hour and a half or whatever hour. And it was like I caught the 2 real quick, and then my next pass through I caught another one just short of 14 inches, and that was it. So, and all the later flights on day 1 caught them too. So that just proves, because I was like 23rd with 12 pounds 5 ounces when I weighed in at 3:45, and then some of the later flight guys weighed in and knocked me down to 40. So that just goes to show this later flight's really what dominates. So especially in springtime, because they just bite better and the conditions got right. It got warm. So, but yeah, day 2 was a complete 180 from day 1, and I wasn't able to at least trigger 3 to 4 more bites that I needed. So that's that, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you learned a little bit. Feel free to comment, please subscribe, like, share it, whatever you guys want to do. It's, I want to get as big of a following as I can, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. So stay tuned for the next one on the list is Smith Lake, and I'm getting excited to get up to that one. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for the next one.